What an amazing day for the University of Utah. My name is Taylor Randall, and I'm the president of this great university. I want to welcome all of you here this morning. We're especially pleased to have representatives of government, both state and local, and the church. Lieutenant Governor Henderson, it's great to see you here today. Mayor Mendenhall, thank you. Bishop Caussé and Bishop Budge, thank you for being here. Christian Gardner, chair of the trustees of our university, and of course, Clark and Christine Ivory. We are here today for a groundbreaking and an announcement of a truly innovative housing project. It is much, much more than a housing project, as you will soon learn. But first, I just want to acknowledge the contributions of Clark and Christine Ivory and their family. Just imagine we're here today at the beginning of a remarkable project. They've already given over 7,000 scholarships to the University of Utah. For those of you that followed our Rose Bowl attending team and our Pac-12 championship team, you will often recognize the Ivory homes. First down, we appreciate that. And of course, while we're solving some of the housing here on campus, Ivory Innovations is also leading in our community to try to solve the affordable housing problem. So Clark and Christine, thank you for years of dedicated service and work to make this university great. So let me talk to you a little bit about the genesis of this project. It is 10 years in the making, when Clark Ivory served as the chair of our Board of Trustees and began a conversation with several of my predecessors, asking what we might do to enliven a campus and perhaps participate and partner with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to try to bring more students here to campus from throughout the state of Utah. Well, 10 years, many brainstorming projects. I was drawn in this past fall when the mayor, the governor, and many of folks from the state of Utah went to Arizona State University to explore what they do there with real estate creatively to try to create a remarkable environment for students. And there is, I think, when we finally figured out what needed to happen. And so I just appreciate the many long years and the people that have been involved in this project. So could we give all those that will go unnamed today a real big round of applause? So let me talk a little bit about 4 things that are really and truly revolutionary about this project. First, many of you who have attended the University of Utah realize that we have long been a commuter campus. Let me tell you what I am working on every single morning right now. I'm working on a wait list of housing that is 3,400 students large. Let me put that in perspective. I only have 4,400 units here on campus. So frankly, we have a housing shortage right here on our own campus. So the first thing this will do is just serve the basic needs. With 552 beds, this will begin quickly to expand the capacity of living here on our campus. The second thing that this will do is we know through rigorous study, trust me on this one, that students that commit to live on campus have much, much better educational outcomes. It increases completion rates by at least 10 percentage points. So if we can get kids here on campus, we will actually see completion rates go up. We also know that they get better jobs. The outcomes are just miles better. The third thing that this does is it begins to, I think, show us a way as a model project for how this campus and how we can build a university town right here around the University of Utah. No longer will we be a commuter campus. We will be a destination school for many of the best and brightest, both in the state and out of state. It is time for this campus to take its role as a very, very traditional and an exciting place to be. This project itself will bring loads of just life and excitement to this side of campus. And finally, and perhaps most astonishingly, through innovative financing, and much of the generosity, again, of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and Clark and Christine Ivory, all of the proceeds through a 99-year land lease, all of the proceeds from this real estate project get donated back to students. If you were to just take a reasonably conservative estimate of that, that amounts to $1 billion in student aid over the 99-year history. And now here is where I begin to feel like I'm a little spoiled. But wait, that's not all. This project will also serve as this launching point, along with some of our other housing across the street, for an initiative that we're going to be calling Complete You. It's an initiative that will actually enliven our campus year-round for thousands of students. What does that mean? It means living and taking classes on campus 12 months a year. We envision between 2,000 and 3,000 students doing that. Now, what does that do? It will target actually freshmen and sophomore students. We'll bring the freshmen in early so that they can get prepared. They can take those basic classes in writing and math to get them accelerated into their schooling. It will keep sophomores here so they can do creative internships and get ahead in their schooling. We see it as accelerating completion, but also increasing job placement. So in addition to this remarkable building project that's being provided, Clark and Christine Ivory and their family will be providing $6 million to seed this Complete You program. Thank you very much, Clark and Christine. It's days like these, as a president and a university, we just feel deeply, deeply grateful. So would you please just join me in giving them one huge round of applause. So I'd like to just announce the rest of our program. It's going to be my pleasure to turn the time over to Christine Ivory, who will be followed by Clark Ivory. Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson is here today, not as a stand-in. We're excited to have you here for Governor Cox. Brad Wilson, who is also listed on the program, may have gotten sick this morning with a disease an affliction that seems to be covering a lot of us. Then we'll be pleased to hear from Erin Mendenhall, and then it is certainly our honor to hear from Bishop Gérald Caussé. So we'll proceed in that order. Chris.
Well, we're so happy to welcome you to the University of Utah this morning, and it's not quite as cold as I thought it was going to be. So that's great. I've taken my coat off. We would like to thank President Taylor Randall for his vision and his direction and his leadership. We just value his friendship so much. We feel honored to collaborate with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on a project that has the potential to impact many students and future leaders in our community. The University House will be an elevated living environment in which students will build a culture focused on academic achievement and life success. We looked at student housing across the nation, award-winning examples, and we determined that at its core, the university, or the Ivory University House would have a residential feel. Shocking. We want students to feel at home, and this is what we do best. We build homes. And we want them to be surrounded by resources that will support their academic pursuits and increase their ability to live a meaningful life. We want every student who lives at the Ivory University House to take great pride in their house. And we have worked with diligence to create swag. And Ellis doesn't really want to show the swag, but if you could just that's pretty cool. I'd wear it. So we hope everybody will have fun wearing all the gear and there are hats for everyone out there. So make sure you grab a hat on your way out. I've got cute Gloria saying hello. Hi. Okay, back to the built-in gear that we want to establish academic achievement and a meaningful life. And really, there's been quite a bit of talk about how we've been directing our university students and how empty, in the end, that direction has been, because it's focused solely on achievement and money and those kinds of things, and you've got a lot of people who aren't feeling terribly happy. So we really do want to think about the student's life in its entirety, in a much more holistic way. We'll have on-site tutoring, we'll have study halls, practice rooms, classroom space, and private studio apartments, which will hopefully elevate the student's learning experience. Each apartment has a private bath, kitchenette, large windows, wooden floors, and a study area. And I know my dad is rolling his eyes right now because it's way too luxurious for students. As great as the individual apartments are, we don't want students to just stay in their rooms. At the center of each building are gathering spaces, a wellness center, including an on-site mental health counselor that will, this is an experiment, and we're going to see if it's needed. Someone who'll come in once a week on an appointment basis, and we'll see how that works for students. There'll be meditation and yoga classes, an art studio, game and video arcade room with vending machines so that there's food 24 hours, maybe try healthy vending machines. Is it possible, Abby? TV, kitchen, and community room, recital and lecture hall, an exercise facility, and an outdoor movie screen. These are incredible amenities, and I would be very happy to move in. Maybe I can move in for the summer or something, for summer school. Post-COVID, we have seen troubling issues in our young people. We have seen anxiety and a reluctance to engage socially. And these are two very real plagues that this generation is facing. So we want to provide a sense of place and community. And hopefully this will assist students to move forward and to achieve. The Ivory University House is a place where the spiritual life is respected, the academic pursuit is supported, the psychological needs are addressed, and the physical discipline is expected. We are grateful for the efforts of the Ivory team working on this project. Ashley Hadfield has to stand up because look at this young, cute thing. She is basically in charge of the real estate development and has just been thrown in the deep end in a huge way. And she's also a recent graduate of the University of Utah Masters of Real Estate Development program. The project manager is, the construction project manager is Alan Argyle. Alan? There's Alan back there, great. Kevin Perry is the project superintendent. Kevin? He's clear back there, yay, Kevin. Keith Bennett is the architect. Keith, you want to stand up or wave your hand or something? Great. Nate Rayner is the project engineer, and Mike Kelly, yay, and Mike Kelly is the landscape architect, and Jane Brakefield, who's not here, she's in Alabama, she's been the interior design consultant. So we're just so grateful for this incredible team, and we're thankful also for Michael Parker, where's Michael, who gets everything moving and running. So grateful for him. We're grateful for Ryan, Tesh, and Annie on our legal and financial team. Just could not have done this project without them. And I'm done.
Thank you for being here this morning. I think I've got the best partner on the planet. She really keeps me in check. You know that, Mayor. And she is awesome. She knows, she gets a lot done. She's so capable, and most importantly, she keeps me from screwing up too badly and is always pushing us to do a little bit more. She's got a very generous heart, and she's an amazing mother. but mostly just a terrific companion. I also want to thank Taylor and Janet. This is a dynamic duo who is going to make such an imprint up here at the University of Utah. They already have, as dean of the business school, they've made amazing strides there, but I cannot wait to see what they do as we forge ahead to become a top 10 public university. Let's give them a big hand. I have loved working with several university presidents, and they've been unbelievable. In fact, we were involved in hiring them and on those selection committees, and I was so impressed. But one thing that I think we have that we haven't had in a while, that we will have with Taylor, is some longevity. We're going to have substantial tenure, and it's going to take that tenure to really get it done. And so I look forward so much to this daring president who's committed to make such a difference. And I know that Taylor and Janet, just their heart is in the right place, and it aches for every student at the university, and they want to see them succeed. As Chris explained, this new housing is about elevated living, which for us equals student success. But Ivory University House is much more than housing, as Taylor said. We hope it becomes a model for other colleges and universities throughout Utah. And we've talked to the commissioner about that. You know, this is a unique model, and I think it's important that we just sort of explain it so people can figure out how they can replicate it in other places. Rather than making just a one-time donation, we wanted to produce an ongoing gift that would create ongoing student support. We are taking a $24 million upfront investment and producing, as Taylor said, a $1 billion impact. Well, how is this possible? Really, $1 billion, is that possible? Here's how. First, it just takes a long time. It takes 99 years. But this story actually started more than 50 years ago. On this very property, my dad, Ellis Ivory, who is not here today, because like the governor, like the speaker, like Brent from Washington Federal, they all have COVID. And so I'm glad this is live streamed today for my mom and dad. Hi, Mom and Dad. We're cheering for you. Let's give a big hand for Ellis and Katie Ivory. Well, it wasn't exactly 50 years ago, but it was about 48 and a half years ago. On October 21st, 1973, Ellis stood on the same ground as president of the University First Stake of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he was here with then prophet and president of the church, Harold B. Lee. Together, they dedicated a brand new stake center. I was 8 years old at the time. And while I don't remember much, I do remember my dad telling me that President Lee made a powerful charge to every student gathered there that day. He asked them to take his baton and do good in the world. I think that's so cool. Now my dad is joking with me that I'm knocking down all of his hard work. I'm sorry, Dad. But he too knows that we are following through on President Lee's charge. We are building on the legacy and are committed to see that thousands of students do good. Now, in the first few years of Ivory University House, our financial returns will be actually quite modest as we reach stabilization and pay for a lot of expenses. This is why Christine and I are going to kickstart things by donating the $6 million from our foundation to help Taylor's efforts to engage more students in a 12-month orientation. I think it's going to be amazing. That money will go toward scholarships, housing stipends, and internships. We want to help create that complete student Taylor talked about. By 2025, we project that Ivory University House will be generating $1 million annually for student support. And then we will see it move to $10 million in not that long a time after that. And then you can only imagine, once the debt is paid off on this project, how the money will fall to the bottom line for students. Over the 99-year lease, we figure that more than 50,000 students will live here, but more importantly, more than double that amount will receive scholarships. Thanks, Taylor. Now, a project like this requires a lot of collaboration from good trustees, from the speakers that have presented today and others that joined us. The Senate President, our governor, has been so involved with us, Mayor Mendenhall, Mayor Wilson, and many others, our family and friends, and we're so grateful to you. A special thanks today to Roger Boyer, who's my second biggest mentor, of course, next to my dad. He's an amazing guy, and he has taught me so much, and I really try to just be like Roger. And a big thanks to the Ivory team. Now, Chris mentioned a few of them by name, but it's the entire Ivory Homes team that makes this possible, and our Ivory Commercial Group. It's through their hard work that we have the additional resources that we can give back to the community. And thank you to all of you who are such strong youth supporters gathered here today. I also want to thank Washington Federal. Brent Beardall, is from Seattle and couldn't be here because of that illness, but we thank Marlise Fisher and her team who've done such a great job at getting this loan put together. It's been challenging because when you commit to give all of your proceeds to the university, it actually gets a little hard to finance. And so who wants to foreclose on that project? Well, we appreciate Washington Federal and all they've done to creatively put together this financing package, and it was key that they locked in a very excellent rate for us a little while back. The presiding bishopric and the First Presidency have given us this opportunity, and it's something we take seriously. We are so grateful to Bishop Caussé and Bishop Budge. Thank you so much. Let's give them a big hand. Not only have they done so much for this project, but there are so many other things that they've done to help our community, and I've been aware of just recently as they've reached out and made efforts towards homelessness, towards affordable housing, towards significant things that are impacting us right here in Salt Lake City. This is critical. And I also have to say they're making an enormous impact on the world. This is dear to Chris and me. As you know, many of you know, we returned from Romania and Moldova in 2017, and every day we get contacted by our friends there who are welcoming refugees, and some of them, particularly in Moldova, are worried that they might be the next target, particularly in Transnistria. So we are just grateful that the church and Bishop Caussé and Bishop Budge are reaching out and providing such relief to many of these people that are coming into this war-torn area. In conclusion, I want to tell you my very favorite thing about this project. This is going to be cool, a great place for people to live, you can imagine, but I just don't want to see it full of a bunch of affluent kids. It is our goal to make sure that at least 25% of the students at Ivory University House will come from the most financially challenged families across the state and across our city. We can't wait to see them flourish. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I now turn over to Lieutenant Governor Henderson.
Well, I'm excited to be here today, but not for the reason that I am here today. It's, I guess, never a good sign when the lieutenant governor shows up to something that the governor was supposed to be at. But he does send his best wishes to all of you. He was very unhappy to not be able to be here today. He's very, very supportive of this effort, this project, and all of the purposes behind it. I talked to him late last night. He's doing quite well. All of the prayers are going up in my household, and I know in many throughout the state on his behalf. And now we'll add Ellis to the list, and we'll add Speaker Wilson to the list, and the list just grows and grows. But It is an honor to be here. My name is Deidre Henderson. I am the Lieutenant Governor. And this project is personally meaningful to me in so many ways. It's meaningful to the state, meaningful to our young people who need to be educated. But as the mother of 5 children, and for the past, I should probably count, but for a lot of years, we've had at least 3 of our children in college at the same time for many years. And as a non-completer myself for a while, until a few weeks ago, when I graduated finally from a university about 50 miles south of here that we will not name. Took me 28 years to do that. But I am really grateful for every effort that there is to remove barriers for people to complete their education. It is so critically important, not just for the economy, not just for our workforce, not just for the goal of being educated, but for the good of the people of the state of Utah, for the good of the people of the world, to make sure that we have access to education, which means housing. I love the fact that this project actually gives back. It actually helps those first-generation students. It will help non-completers. It will help remove the barriers to entry and the barriers to staying in school that exist right now. So thank you for that. Thank you very much. Bishop, the Ivory family, very, very grateful. President Randall, for your vision, your enthusiasm, and I hope that we can spread this model out throughout the state. We do have a lot of problems here in the state of Utah, one of which is housing, another is workforce, and this encompasses great solutions to all of that. And not only that, it also embodies what we love to call here in Utah, the Utah way. The collaboration, working together, the innovation, the thinking big and coming together to solve joint problems. I'm really happy about this, grateful for this. I know the governor is too. So thank you to all of you, and God bless you all.
I'm the only one in jeans, but I know how to show up to a groundbreaking. We're going to get a little dusty here, folks. So President Randall and Janet, Clark and Christine, I'm going to start saying Christine and Clark, Ivory, my friends Bishop Caussé, Bishop Budge, thank you for being catalytic in your relationship to provide opportunity in a way we've never seen before, at least in the state of Utah, but likely anywhere in the nation. I can't be on these grounds and not think of my own time as a young undergrad, coming from a single parent household, working a full-time job at a bakery down around 9th and 9th, basically living off of whatever was going to get thrown out that day, going to school full-time here at the University of Utah, taking the bus to get up here, and living paycheck to paycheck. I wasn't a great student, but I made up for it as a graduate student, I promise. But part of the challenge, and what this is so inspiring to me about, is that when you're trying to make ends meet as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, you're working full-time for minimum wage, you have a really hard time getting anything more out of the education you're investing in than what you're required to do to pass. That was my experience. And where we are right now, there's energy in this ground. Not only the history of this property, but this is a project that is 2 things, in addition to the 3 that President Taylor established at the beginning. This is a project that is perpetual in nature. How many projects are that? How many projects have a 20-year deed restriction or a 30-year deed restriction if we're lucky? This is 99 years, and I will hope that there'll be a groundbreaking in 98 years to redo this project and keep it going in its perpetual nature. And second, it is catalytic. And I'm going to add a 4th item to President Randall's list of 3. Something else that this place will do that we haven't necessarily talked about is that it is going to inspire the people who live here and the people who come into its sphere to think about what perpetual and catalytic projects they will create here in the state of Utah and all across the world as they take their education and implement it. They will have built into their, not just their educational experience, but their hearts and their souls and their relationships, a community, a place of wellness, and a place that has invested in them in a perpetual way. So it's not only perpetual financing, it's about the people who will be affected here. That's remarkable. It's more than affordable housing. It is so much more, as you said. And so to the thousands and thousands of students who will come through here, receive an education that is unsurpassed, but who will also leave here and build their own perpetual and catalytic relationships, projects, and impacts on this world. What this project does is go beyond the degree that is the foundation. So many people have said education is the foundation for life. But what this allows, and what I hope that my kids can have, that I didn't get to have as an undergraduate, is the scaffolding on top of that education, that the relationships and the investment in these students is about to build through the Ivory University House. And I think in my heart of hearts, I'm going to be calling it the Ivory University Home, because it is so much more than a house. So thank you for investing not only in the foundation of education and a degree, but the scaffolding that will build projects and people and communities that are perpetual in nature and catalytic in changing the world. It's remarkable, and I applaud you for it. Thank you for having me here today.
Dear friends, it's such a great honor to be with you this morning. I've enjoyed seeing all the smiles on your faces. It's truly a day of joy, and it's good to have such a beautiful weather and the opportunity to be here together. I'm here representing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but I'm not alone. I've seen a lot of our, of course, Bishop Budge here as a second counselor in the presiding bishopric. I've seen Elder Clark Gilbert, who is the Commissioner of Education for the Church, and many of our staff and members of the Meeting House Facilities Department, Real Estate Department, and each of them has been involved in small way, or bigger way, into this project. We are, of course, grateful for this fantastic project. I may say, President Randall, we love the University of Utah and its students. I guess we love the University of Utah because of the students. It's a people-oriented institution, and that has a remarkable role in this community, Utah and Salt Lake City, and a very unique contribution to strengthening our rising generation. So thank you for your vision. Thank you for your leadership. It's been a great honor for me personally to be associated with leadership of University of Utah for a long time. And Clark and Christine, I think the first time we met was probably 8 or 9 years ago. I had just come from France and didn't know much about this community here. And I was quickly reminded of the importance of this university through your example, through your words, and it's incredible to me that even at that time you were already talking and having that vision of we need to develop housing here, to bless students who come to this university, to be close to the campus and to be able to enjoy a full experience as students here on this campus. And then I think that there has been countless times with leadership of University of Utah, Clark, meetings where we receive questions about what about this place here? It's so strategic for the campus, and many of you have asked the church, what are you going to do with this place, and what is it for? How can you bless the university? And I guess in the church we believe in inspiration, and unless you feel inspiration, you don't do anything. That's how we try to work. And I think the experience a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when you explained that project to us. And it was instant testimony, instant inspiration that it was the right thing to do. And suddenly we had a vision of, yes, there is something we can do here with this piece of land. And I remember going to the First Presidency of the church and with President Nelson being really enthusiastic about it. So there's a full support here. We know the history of this place and the meeting house that existed here, but I think we felt not only good, but fantastic about the vision that is going to bless so many lives here. Let me also say that we are grateful for the fact that this is going to be a place that is going to bless students of quality, including students of faith, with a very spiritually inspiring environment, a safe environment, and also a place where people will find a motivating setting that will have them pursue their studies. And so we are grateful for that part of the project, and we really appreciate this elevated environment that is going to be such an important part. So the church is very pleased to be part of this great partnership with the University of Utah, with the Ivory Foundation, and thank you, Lieutenant Governor and Mayor, for your wonderful support. We intend to be part of this community and to continue working to make it better and better, and particularly to bless this place with great students that will be strong in their commitment to helping their community. We are, of course, willing to help in any way, and may I offer a prayer that we'll see this project move forward with great success, and that it will reach its objectives, blessing a lot of lives here of the people we love most, our children, grandchildren, and others. Thank you very much.
3.